Welcome back to Morsels and Motors. You join me today in the exciting world of Metroland, and we're going to be doing a little job on the Metro, which is to sort out the locks, the door locks. The car came with two keys for the door, which I assume are identical, but they are not, because one of them opens the boot and one of them opens the passenger door, but they don't open each other. Both of them open the driver's door. So I think the driver's door lock is just worn, and so any Metro key works in that. So I've bought a set of locks from eBay, and I'm going to be fitting those, so let's get to it. And just to prove that I'm not going mad, this is the key that happily opens the boot without any difficulty. But if we take it over here and try it in the passenger door, it does nothing. It won't turn. And this is the other key, which doesn't turn in the boot. And if you bring it over here, it does open the passenger door. And finally, here's our proof that the two keys operate in the driver's door lock. So here's key 1, which locks the door, and key 2, which happily opens the door. Excellent. The trusty Haynes manual tells me that it's quite a straightforward job. It's just undo all the door fixtures, take off the door card, and then there's a retaining clip on the back of the door locks. So we'll see if that's the case when I actually start taking it apart. Oh, and this is the set of locks that I got from eBay, which is a full set of locks, boot lock, 2 door locks, and a locking fuel cap. All with a matching set of keys, so that should be a lot better. You don't want to break this trim, so I'm trying to be really careful with them. The good thing about really old cars like this and all the Volvos I have is that everything comes apart so easily because there's just some screws holding everything up. It's great. Looks like the window winder is an 8-bolt. Yes, 8mm bolt. I need to just prise the door card off. There are some little poppers behind it. One of them's broken and has come off already. The other one's off in my hand. What I should get is a proper trim remover clip tool that doesn't damage the paint. But I don't have one. So what I'm going to go and do is just put a little bit of tissue paper around this screwdriver. That's better. Let's see if we can get these poppers off without scratching any of my lovely Eclipse blue paint job. There we go, much better. Nearly there. Do my hand, there we go. Free! That's what the inside of a Metro door card looks like. It's really high quality, isn't it? Actually, to be fair, it's about exactly the same quality as that on a 240 or a 340. Not sure how successful I'm going to be, but I'm trying my best to be gentle. Not one of my strong points. Now I need to roll the window back up because the glass is in the way. Should have thought of that before I took the handle off. Just having a little look inside the door, you can see that's the back of the lock barrel. It looks like there's a brass kind of clip holding it against the door, and then there's also this rod that's attached to the mechanism. So I just need to, I think, detach that rod and slide back the clip. I think I'll have to do that off camera because you're not going to be able to see a thing whilst I've got my hand in there doing things, so that's a bit pointless. Hopefully you can just about see I've now disconnected the rod from the little clip that would attach to it. So I just need to undo that brass clip that holds the whole lock to the door now. One clip. That was extremely stiff to remove actually, but I've got it out. So now I should be able to just gently push the lock out from the inside. There we are. And pull it out. somehow. Come on, little lock. There we are. Lovely. One presumably extremely worn driver's door lock. You see that the new lock, which is on the left, is a chrome one and the old one is a black one. It is bothering me slightly that the new ones aren't going to be black as they should be, but it looks like if you put them side by side, it looks like they're made from slightly different material. It looks like this one's made from a kind of dull aluminium and this one's made from quite a shiny chrome. So I think it's going to be really difficult to paint that because the paint really won't want to adhere. And the original is painted. If you take the little collar off here, the little spacer, you can see that it is, there you go, you can see it is sort of overspray of some paint there. So it is just painted. It's not like a plastic film or anything like that. But I think it's just going to look terrible if I try to paint that because it's just so shiny. So I'm going to fit them as they are, chrome and all, and if it really bothers me then I'll reconsider perhaps. Right, I've just given the area around the door lock a little bit of a clean, and refitting is a reversal of removal, as the common phrase goes. The old lock had like a little spacer behind the lock that was orange, and it really annoyed me. So I'm going to try it without and see what happens. It might be that it rattles too much, so we might have to take it off and do it again, but let's try without. So try and remember how it went in. There. Lovely. Now just reattach the hooks. Right, done. They were much easier to reattach. That was only a sort of a 5-second job. So I don't think it doesn't seem to be loose or rattle or anything. So I think it's fine without the little spacer. So yeah, that'll have to do much better. And by the magic of TV, that's the last little thing I need to do to get the entire driver's door card back on. There we go, other side now. Right, here's the passenger side door card, so I shall just repeat the same process. The only exciting difference with the passenger side is that someone's already been in here before me and was a lot less careful than I was, because all they've done is slit the plastic to get in. The other interesting bit to note is that the two doors are constructed slightly differently, in very minor ways, but this is a different type of plastic and a different width sticky tape than was on the driver's side. And also there's a slightly different, there were different screws for the door pocket and different screw, and in fact it's slightly different assembly holding the door handle in place. There wasn't a little blanking cover, there's no such thing over the screw there, so that's strange, but there we are. There we are, passenger door lock is now all fitted as well. I actually did notice when doing this that there was a little gasket here behind this lock as well, but this one was black. So I think, so I've kept this one. So what I'll do is I might just get a bit of pen or something and recolour the other one, or maybe I'll get some spray paint. I'll recolour the other one and put it back. So I'll just redo the driver's one. That'll only take me a few minutes. Right, let's do the easiest of easy jobs, shall we? Which is swap over the fuel cap. This opens with an entirely different key anyway. Here's the new one, which works with the same door key as the other locks. Brilliant. Easy. Right, there is absolutely nothing at all in the Haynes manual as to what you're supposed to do to get the tailgate lock off, but I suspect it's probably similar to the door locks, so let's give it a go. We just need to take this panel off by popping off these little poppers. Right, I've got the trim panel off. Only had to play a game of find the little trim clips once, thank goodness, but it actually does look quite straightforward in here. It looks pretty much exactly the same. Looks like there is just a little hook to detach from the rod, and then there's a brass kind of retaining clip to slide back, so exactly the same as the doors. Easy. Just need to fit the new one. Let's get the clips on. Right, let's just make sure that the new lock actually operates. Oh yes it does, happy days. Excellent, let's just put the cover back on and we can almost call that a day. This will teach me to actually look at everything in the kit before starting. The kit actually came with new gaskets for the front door locks. So I've just taken the driver's one back out again, and I'm going to put the new lovely gasket behind there. Much better. Right, last job for today is to try to figure out why the doors are so difficult to close. They really won't close properly, they just go to the halfway point unless you really give it a really proper slam, which exacerbates how tinny the car is, and I don't like that. So it looks like you can adjust the striker pin there, so I'm going to see if I can do that and see if I can get the doors, both doors just the same, to close a little bit more pleasantly. Right, it looks like this is a 17, so let's just see what happens. Oh, well, something happens, it unscrews, that's something. What I can do is move it a little bit outwards, tighten it back up again, see what happens. I think this is going to be what's called trial and error. I can't possibly have got that right first time, surely. No. Let's try a few more times and see how we go. Well, I think that was semi-successful. I can't adjust the driver's door one very much, there's hardly any more adjustment in it, it's on the maximum. This one I've adjusted a little bit, not too much, because the more I adjusted it, the more the door was then proud and was kind of rattling. So I think it's better. I'll just keep going. At least it closes the first time this time now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just doing a few little bits and pieces to make the Metro better. Join me again soon for some more videos. Bye!